Welcome everyone to the LEC post-game lobby. My name is Sjokz and I'm joined by Guldborg and Markoon, who are just chatting away because they're actually, friends, I guess, but, both NLC boys.
Yeah, we were talking about both NLC, but also good old days, apparently. I took, in a Riot League, ERL, one game of Markoon.
As a coach.
And lost the best of 3. But I won one game in the best of 3.
That is what caster life is about. You keep going back to these things that you never actually did well in a competitive spirit, and you kind of have to go back to them all the time. Where you sit next to an actual successful jungler. Yeah, congratulations. Pretty crazy win, actually. Super impressive. What's going on with Fnatic?
I think they're just playing pretty bad. Simply, let's not I don't know what's going on in that team, but they're just performing really, really bad individually.
And how do you feel that in the game? Because you guys looked like you just had to read in terms of both the draft that you had to play, the macro, the gank timings, everything, right?
I think we outdrafted them a little bit. I feel like having Talia on this patch, she seems very strong. And then after I got those ganks off, and I think getting Talia ahead made it so that now we also win mid 2v2, and then from then on the game felt very easy to play. We could get every Drake, we could have every Herald, so we just snowballed from there.
So far, at least from this week, this meta set's it seems like it's really put in stone. You see Talia, you see Poppy, there's Sylas now, all this stuff, Gangplank. Is the meta really just this stale, or are we just scratching the surface right now?
I think the meta recently changed, so I think most teams are still figuring out their priorities. I think the meta's gonna change a little bit, and power picks are going to change a little bit, but it looks like the strong champs have kind of been figured out,
Yeah, okay.
When it comes to you, yourself and Excel, obviously not the best week last week, and I feel like maybe that, of course, it's never necessary to lose, right? But sometimes I guess it's good to get brought back to earth. So what did you draw from those losses last week? Because you look completely reinvigorated coming into week 5.
I think last week, our practice was really bad, the 2 weeks before, because it was also in the break week.
Yeah.
So we had bad practice. I think we all dipped individually that week. I think we all had very bad performances. And I think that just resulted in 2 losses. And after that, we just had some team meetings, discussed what was going wrong, because there was a lot of stuff going wrong in those 2 weeks of practice. And then once we figured that out, we just fixed it, and it looks like we're back on track.
Easy.
I'm really curious about this, because we hear it from pro players all the time, it's just bad practice. Can you kind of identify the process as how does a team that started out so well as you guys all of a sudden just end up in bad practice? Is it on the individual level? Is it just teams suddenly just lacking a fundamental? Do you then have to relearn, or what kind of goes into it?
I think it's a little bit of discipline. Normally in practice, if you're very disciplined, you're gonna have good practice, close to stage games. But in our scrims, I think we're lacking discipline. So I'm dying in random invades, lanes are dying to random ganks, lanes are limit testing, so then already every game becomes a little bit of clown fiesta. And then when you also start playing bad on top of that mechanically, because people are maybe losing confidence, or maybe people are a little bit cocky, you don't know what's going on, but you're gonna start losing every game, and that's what happened to us.
Right. When it comes to kind of new expectations for Excel, I think Excel for the longest time were the team that were oh, are they even going to make playoffs, blah, blah, blah. Now, yes, you made playoffs. In fact, people are wondering how high you're going to place in those playoffs. How different is that to play with those expectations as opposed to the, oh, well, a win is a win?
I never really felt the playoffs mentality that Excel kind of had for a few splits. I came in and I wanted to win from then on.
Yeah.
I didn't have my eyes set on playoffs. I just wanted to win every game. And I think I have the same mindset now as I did when I came in, and it's just, I want to win the league.
So, Janka said something really interesting in a recent on the Inferi podcast, basically just saying that a lot of rookies coming in, when they reach playoffs, they kind of start relaxing a little bit. They feel happy about it, because for them, it's on G2, it's a given, they need to make it to the international stage. What's your point of view in terms of making players? Do you feel like that's a fair narrative for you guys coming in new to the league?
For me, regular season seems really kind of boring and useless. Playing it now, I feel kind of relaxed playing regular season, because it feels like the games are very they don't matter as much, so you can play very relaxed. I feel like playoffs is when the game actually starts for me. I don't think I really feel that narrative that I relax during playoffs. I feel like I'm gonna actually get more intense during playoffs.
Okay, that's good to hear, because we would be excited to see that. We talked about ego, I think, the last time we talked. Do you remember that? Yeah, you were ego is so important, blah, blah, blah. And then you were giving all these big statements. How do you feel your ego's doing right now that you're doing so good in the league?
I think it's pretty similar. I think my ego took a little bit of a hit after we went 0-2.
This man just tweeted, am I the MVP now? Make me the mid-season MVP.
I think my ego went down a bit after we went 0-2. Like I lost a little bit of confidence, but now last week practice was really good and I felt like I was playing well again. So yeah, I feel like I'm at the level again that I was at the start of the split, like after Korea.
Yeah, we asked Guldborg and Jamada to give us their mid-season MVPs. You were actually not on the list. You were a honorable mention only after, I believe, Niski and...
Comp.
And Comp.
Which I think is fair. I'm not going to sugarcoat it next to him. He had a little bit of a slump, but I also think today, like, you see different signs, right? You see the likes of a volleybet that can go in and then create pressure for his team in a side lane, but you also see the difference, like in Trundle, all of a sudden, you know, paying Nuke Dog a little bit back for facilitating him so much in the start of the split to make him look like the star. So I think it's fair, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
What would it take for you to think he deserves MVP in summer?
I think he just continues what he did here. Like, I generally feel like as a player, he's one of the, like, we often talk about these EU players that develops, right? And you are definitely one of these EU players where we're like, we put you in the same booth as Elioria probably in the future, if the split continues as it is. Because it's just like, you see the development and you see the, you know, willingness to continue and no lack of pressure. Like, you've never even been in front of a huge crowd or anything like that before. You've been to some random land in Italy. We were talking beforehand. So I generally feel like we're only just scraping the surface of what he can do. So I generally feel like he's on the way. There's no need to worry.
Nice PR talk for Markoon. Yeah. The Kia player of the game, though. Later, bro. The Kia player of the game, though, was Patrick. We have a sick outplay, actually. I think we're going to see it. But did you realize how he was smurfing this game, actually?
Yeah. I often realize how Patrick is smurfing,
yeah.
The timing is so good. It's the small things as well. You know, it's like he stops a little bit, waits out the thick skin, and then the ultimate comes down. And then the setup from the ultimate afterwards is just in the perfect position to go for the flash afterwards. And, you know, Odo was on cast, and he literally just said, well, Patrick, it's not usually the flashiest player. Then he does that immediately. It's amazing.
Under tower. Really good stuff. Yeah, we already had the standings up, but maybe we can get them up again because there's a lot of talk right now. Is it like, is EU bad or is EU good? Is it somewhere in the middle? What's going on at the middle of the pack? What do you think it is?
I'm not sure. I mean, I haven't been in LEC very long, so I can't judge on the gameplay too much. I feel like I'm not sure if everyone's bad, but I do think everyone's pretty evenly matched right now. I feel like anyone could beat any team in the middle of the standings at this point. And I don't think, except for Rogue, I think everyone can beat each other.
But Rogue lost today to GT.
Yes, Rogue lost today, but yeah, I still think Rogue is going to do very well.
Even the biggest champ needs a break.
That's true.
But
Good
also,
job, GB.
Thank you. I hope, like, I'm going to talk with production after. Either way, I think one thing that really solidifies the top three that we have is just generally mid, jungle, support synergy.
Yeah.
The people that understands how you play around the mid lane and how you either create pressure in the mid lane or bridge pressure from the mid lane to other lanes. Like, I think Excel does this very well. I think Mad Lions does this very well. And I think Rogue is up there as one of the teams that does this very well. It's kind of what puts them up there because all of a sudden, not only do you have one pressure map, you could just create it all over to the entire map. I don't know if you agree with that sentiment.
Yeah, mid-jungle support is very important. I think they just
always
decide how the game goes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's always important, actually, in fact. Let's take a look at the Kia player of the game leaderboard, talking about mids and junglers. Perks, Niski, Vitio all have 4 wins, and we have...
Sorry, where are you here?
And we actually asked Discord today which role they thought was most overpowered, and they said jungle.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah. But yeah, interesting there, the player of the game leaderboard. Perks, so that means in the wins that Vitality is getting, people are rating him very, very highly.
Makes sense.
No surprise there, I guess. Cool.
Yeah, I'm just saying 4 mid laners, and mid lane is not OP at all. It's
not OP at all.
There's 4 mid laners on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's take a look at the schedule for next week. I believe you are playing both Mad Lions and Vitality, so that's going to be good. I'd love to know specifically about that matchup versus Mad Lions. Is it the first day? No, it's the second one. Because a lot of people are maybe looking at putting them as the best team in the league, you know, of course, together with Rogue and actually together with you guys. But what are going to be the challenges in playing them?
I mean, I feel like Mad Lions, when they get going in the early game, they tend to snowball very hard. But I feel like looking at Mad Lions, I feel pretty confident that we are just a good match into them. I think we just have stronger individual laners on top and AD carry. And then I think as mid-jungle support, we actually play their style better than they do. And I think we will just win again.
Ooh, I like that nugget.
So I agree with the sentiment that stylistically, I actually think they're very, like, they're kind of just not really the same team, but they go for the same play style in terms of how that mid-jungle support function as well. If they're better, maybe we'll see next week.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see, indeed. So we're going to sign off. We're going to take a selfie, though, first. Where is my phone? Oh, yeah. I'm also going to say that the LCS is on, by the way. Evil Geniuses versus CLG in just a second.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great. You guys can stand up.
Oh, yeah.
Be too small.
Oh, there we go. Oh, my God. You're so tall when standing. What the fuck?
Awesome. Thank you, guys. So we'll be back next Friday for more LEC action. We'll see you then. Watch the LCS or go to bed. I don't care. Bye. Good night.
Good night,
watch
boys.
the LCS. Watch the LCS. LEC Summer. The second round robin started with a bang.
Are you the best team in LEC right now?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, I like it.
And it is my absolute pleasure to introduce my brother, Samuel Initialize Hapgood, to the big stage. Welcome.
He knocks him back! We wanted to know how they would get into range, and Larson delivers! They still have a smite in the pit. Black gonna get perfect goes for fight. Larson! The Emperor himself, but isn't enough. Can he keep the fight going? Keep your eyes on Flack at 20 Chakram. This man is popping off! Anyway, as Jonghoon goes in, kills off Synchron, and the fight continues. Meganar is going to be around as well, but who even cares? As everyone melts, and Astralis find mid-game team fights. And it's a complete ace aside from Maddie.
They made mistakes around late game objectives before.
Chains land, and let's see whether they can drag this one down to hell. The Cycling Shuffle keep alive and have a treat. Throws down, death charge, thank you very much. Armor tries to flash through the flag and drag BDS early game.
Hang on, Jonghoon, buddy, did you just spellbook smite the cannon away from your AD carry?
Korean mechanics, baby. Patrick is absolutely picking on this man, waiting. All the out, he gets him! There he is, he finds a kill onto Hilly. Human trying to fight back. Patrick! Oh my God, that was clean as hell! Gonna be in trouble, trying to leap backwards here. Knocked up, knocked down. TP and Matty is sandwiched, nowhere to go. A Mistral Bolt plus a barrel sticks him in the dirt. Trying to drag this one out anyway, Ahmed getting Gale forced down! Oh, Matty. Oh, dear, he is dead, deceased, pushing up the daisies. Got to meet his maker, he is at X. Went for that flash hook, but now a turnaround from Nisky with the seismic shove!
Broken Blade forcing it.
Broken Blade going massive! Carzy popping off, Vitality! Oh my God.
Poor Poppy.
It's a champagne supernova, but for